Human beings are naturally selfish creatures. It's a survival mechanism that keeps one safe and healthy. Those who spend the most time looking out for number one tend to be the most successful and respected by their peers. Most people would refer to it as survival of the fittest. I would consider myself to be a selfish person as I'm always focused on what I'm doing, writing scripts, doing research, creating content, growing my YouTube channel, spending less time focusing on what other people are doing with their lives and instead focusing on my own. Sounds pretty self-centered, doesn't it? You know why that is? Because it is. Without it, I would still be working at a job that I didn't really enjoy. Even in my last position, I was working at a homeless shelter and I found that job very fulfilling, but there was still the voice in the back of my head saying, Jackson, this is not your path. Over the years, I've stopped listening to what other people want from my life. I've been spending less and less time with friends or other people in general to focus on myself. Me. It's all about me. Or is it? When I was 20 years old, I was lost, depressed, and had lost all hope. A good friend of mine started doing all these weird things, reading for hours a day, journaling, meditating. He started turning down playing Madden or 2K, which left me and my friends thinking he had turned into some sort of alien. But he knew I was struggling and in a dark place, so he gave me a book titled Maximum Achievement by Brian Tracy, my first ever book on self-development. Brian talked about having the proper amount of thoughts and actions will enable you to accomplish almost anything you want. Now, when you're at one of the lowest points in your life, this is pretty hard to believe. But as the years went on, I began to fall more and more in love with self-development. This feeling of constantly improving myself became more addicting than anything else I had ever experienced. The more I fell in love with it, the more selfish I became, setting goals, focusing on self-care, learning to be more productive than ever before. What an incredible feeling. As I continued to learn through the voices and words of great mentors like Tony Robbins, Gary Vee, Jay Shetty, and many others, I found one common theme that seemed to be the most important message across the board. Develop your passion and use it to impact the lives of others. Change yourself first before you change the life of another. Jay Shetty stated it best in my opinion. I'm not sure if these are his words or a quote he picked up along the way, but it goes like this. Your passion is for you. Your purpose is for others. Many people have this opinion that self-help is all about the self, but it's really the opposite. We take this time to create a better life for ourselves so we can teach, inspire, and motivate others to do the same. No matter where you are in your journey, it's important to realize that you have knowledge that somebody else might not have, and to share your journey along the way. An essential key to happiness and fulfillment is learning to be selfless. Sometimes this requires you to do selfish practices in the meantime, like learning to feel good about saying no. You want to be a good friend and be helpful in your surrounding environment by saying yes to everything you can, but this begins to wear you out, drains your energy, and when you get home, the time you have left for yourself ends up being sleeping and eating. Sacrificing your own well-being to help another really isn't benefiting either party. You'll burn out, experience anxiety and depression at a faster rate than you ever thought possible. A great answer when someone asks you to do something is to say, "Let me get back to you," and then put some good hard thought into what's being proposed. What will doing this cost you mentally and physically? Usually your gut will know the answer. Then when the times come where you can say yes, you can put your whole heart into it. If we don't take the time for self-care, our ability to help others becomes limited. When we take the time to exercise, eat properly, love, and experience life, it allows us to admit the most positive version of ourselves when we're helping others. I'm sure some of you have gone to the gym and noticed that the trainer is more out of shape than the client. Doesn't really make sense, does it? It's similar with helping others. When you put the time into caring for your own well-being, your impact will be far more significant than if you put all that time into trying to help others. It's essential to look at the bigger picture, especially when we're young. To focus selfishly for a period of time, master your craft, turning down short-term pleasures for long-term self-respect. To grow and to be true to your calling, you know you must be selfish in your actions to transform your life as a whole. In doing so, selfish choices and actions transform into selfless generosity, as you now have the necessary tools to impact lives for the better. I think it's important not to give or to try to teach when you don't really have anything of value to offer. I've been studying self-development for the last 6 years, and only in this last year have I shared what I've been learning. And there's still times where I'm like, bruh, you know nothing. As I continue to learn and now share what I've learned along the way, I would like to encourage you to do the same. Focus on yourself to give the most generous contribution possible to the lives of others. Or don't. If that's not for you and you're perfectly happy with where you are right now, that's truly a beautiful thing.